Welcome back, my free thinkers, to another video. Be prepared to be shocked as we talk about what Hollywood elites don't want you to see, as well as Mel Gibson exposing. So you're gonna want to stick around to see why no one wants you to see Sound of Freedom.
Only is Mel Gibson exposing Hollywood, but he also exposing Oprah? For what?
First time I really came over here, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
You're 7 years old and someone is stroking you. It feels good.
Definitely something I think we should be discussing and talking about. This is serious, big time.
The Rolling Stone talking about Sound of Freedom is a superhero movie for dads with brainworms. What are they talking about, man? It's just evil. And then the Washington Post, Sound of Freedom is a box office hit whose star embraces QAnon, doing anything they can to discredit this movie and the message that it's trying to spread.
We're being shafted by mainstream media. We're not getting any coverage.
We were talking about on the podcast the 39 or 35 kids that were rescued in Georgia. Yeah. And it was a blip in the news. But meanwhile, I saw 1,000 articles on how mean Ellen is. Yes. That story right there should be leading on
everything.
So it's really up to the American people to sustain the pressure, because the media, for some reason, is saying we're irrelevant. We are the irrelevants. We're not going to put any of our time into this film. But no, the American people are the ones that are going to dictate to the politicians and to the media exactly where we're going to go.
What we're facing today is fierce, I will confess.
And then is asking a question, so what do you think about this movie? There's a lot of people that are saying that there's some right-wing QAnon, what do you think about this? And this guest, you should see, watch this.
And you seem pretty familiar with him because he doesn't really hide his association with this real wild plot that involves, drinking the blood of children and things like that.
No, he doesn't hide it at all. And you have a lot of people who are in this world of QAnon who say, oh, they don't know what that is. They've never heard of it. They're just asking questions. With somebody like Jim Caviezel, he is openly embracing it. He's openly using its catchphrases and its concepts. He's speaking at QAnon conventions. And this film is being marketed to either specific QAnon believers or to people who believe all of the same tenets as QAnon, but claim they don't know what it is.
And The Sound of Freedom does focus on a real issue of trafficking. But that theme, it's sort of like that kernel of truth that feeds the QAnon conspiracy theory. Tell us how those two things work together.
Sure. And the most durable and the most believable conspiracy theories are not entirely false. There's something in them that is true and the rest of it is false. But the believers point to the one true thing and they say, oh, you don't believe that this particular thing is true. In terms of trafficking, we know trafficking is real. We know it has real victims. No one is denying that. But these films are created out of moral panics. They're created out of bogus statistics. They're created out of fear. And with something like Sound of Freedom, it specifically is looking at QAnon concepts of these child rings that are run by the high-level elites, and only people like Tim Ballard and only people like Jim Caviezel, and by extension, only people like the ticket buyer can help bring these trafficking rings down. So there's a very participatory element. You're not just going to see a movie, you're just killing 2 hours on a hot day. You are helping bring down these rings and save children. Now, it's not true, but it's a very comforting and it's a very warm feeling to have.
So, one of the most popular news media, CNN, just blows this off as a conspiracy theory, and it's nothing more than that. What do you think? Why do you think they would just blow it off as just a conspiracy theory and downplay this movie while upplay another movie? Doesn't make any sense, right?
Question: what has Hollywood and the media become when they attack a movie about saving children, yet defend exposing kindergartners to sex? Answer: evil.
The things that are happening with children, that is the one thing that, Christ wasn't really a fire and brimstone kind of guy, but when it came to harming his little ones,
better to have a millstone tied around your neck and be thrown into the deepest part of the sea.
Right.
For them to say that it's QAnon and it's fake. It's like they don't want people messing with their influx of children. It's a huge problem. And yes, they made money off this movie, but now look how many people are talking about these kids, and at least somebody now is opening their mouth. And by the way, this movie was made 5 years ago. I don't know if you guys, this movie's old.
Yeah, 5 years ago. A little secret if you didn't know that. This movie's old, just like he said. And why do you think it's been held on for 5 years?
It was made by Fox before the Disney acquisition. So then Disney, they essentially didn't release it. They didn't want to release it. They sold it to this other studio, and the studio actually had to crowdfund to get a theatrical release. So that's kind of what's ironic about the fact that it did beat Indiana Jones, at least for one weekend, is that this could have been money going to Disney, but it's also kind of suspicious. Why didn't Disney want to release this movie? Was it not in line with their branding?
And by the way, isn't Disney a kids channel? Isn't it like about kids and protecting kids? So why wouldn't you want to protect kids worldwide? Isn't that kind of weird?
Perhaps they don't really want
For a long time in this movement, people have been trying to get rid of age of consent laws. We get rid of age of consent laws. We get rid of the numerosity requirement, and all of a sudden, the foundation of civilization, right, is
gone.
Yeah.
The Sound of Freedom is a blockbuster movie with a battle cry. God's children are not for sale. Yet some studios like Disney are outraged over the sleeper's hit success, and they've sent their meat puppets in the mainstream media into 4K fits. You have the Rolling Stone and Washington Post, who once celebrated Netflix Cutie series, are now simping for human trafficking. I'm a kidnapped survivor. The line is drawn here. On one side are children, on the other is evil. Choose.
Of all the things that disturb me in this culture, of all the horrific, sinful, wretched, wicked, corrupt influences that go on in this culture, I think the thing that distresses me most is the war on children.
The glitzy world of Hollywood, where controversies and scandals are the talk of the town, it's surprising how one particular movie has managed to fly under the radar. Sound of Freedom, directed by Alejandro Gomez Monteverde, delves deep into the dark underbelly of illegal human trade, revealing the shocking methods employed by the elite to lure innocent victims into their sinister rings. But what's even more intriguing is the lack of buzz, press coverage, and endorsements surrounding this important film.
Why is a film starring a big actor, an established director, and being promoted by Mel Gibson is not being shown in cinemas?
It seems the message of the movie has ruffled some powerful feathers.
I think there's a small number of people who know they're doing the bidding of evil. And I don't even know who they are, but I think there are those who know exactly what they're doing.
There has always been, on the part of Satan and the kingdom of darkness, an effort to destroy children, to bring them so close to the darkness that they could never see the light. They are the most defenseless of all humans, and the enemy of our souls is against them. They already have sin built in and are more easily attracted to him than they are to their creator, more easily deceived.
The film sheds light on the horrors of this abhorrent industry, aiming to raise awareness and mobilize action against it. However, despite the urgency of the topic, major streaming platforms like Amazon, Netflix, and Hulu shockingly rejected the movie, refusing to give it a platform for worldwide exposure. It's a puzzling move, considering these platforms are often at the forefront of promoting socially conscious content. Could it be that the film's explosive revelations hit a little too close to home for some? Adding fuel to the fire, celebrity voices that are typically quick to endorse woke causes have remained eerily silent about Sound of Freedom. It's as if the Hollywood elite have collectively turned a blind eye to a film that exposes their own industry's dirty secrets. The lack of support from these influential figures raises questions about their true commitment to social justice and human rights. But the intrigue doesn't end there.
This culture is weaponized to destroy children. It's systematically designed to do that. 62.5 million of them have been slaughtered in the womb since Roe versus Wade in the 70s. We all understand the breakdown of the family. If a child can escape abortion and be born, that child has about a 50-50 chance of being born to a married couple. It is likely that that married couple will get a divorce. It is likely that they will be unfaithful to their marital vow. It is likely that the child will be sent to a public school, and come under the influence of those whose agenda is anti-God, anti-Christ, anti-Scripture. And as you know, our country, the politicians who lead it, are making laws that are devastating to children under the pressure of sexual freedom, homosexuality, transgenderism. The desire is to make that normal and to punish people who speak against it with laws in the category of hate speech.
Whispers in the industry suggest a more sinister motive behind the rejection and lack of promotion for Sound of Freedom. Accusations circulate that the likes of Disney, Netflix, and Amazon Prime deliberately avoided obtaining the rights to the film to allegedly prevent the truth about child AB and the illegal trade from reaching global viewers. One such group of elites is the Good Club. This is the creme de la creme of global elites. According to The Guardian, this exclusive group of billionaire philanthropists holds top-secret meetings right in the heart of New York City. Names like Bill Gates, George Soros, Warren Buffett, Oprah Winfrey, David Rockefeller, and Ted Turner often grace the guest list. But also, lesser-known but equally wealthy figures like Eli and Edith Broad also make appearances, making us wonder what really goes on behind closed doors. Now, one name that sticks out is Oprah Winfrey. We all know her as the billionaire show host and philanthropist with a name larger than life, right? Wrong. Buckle up, because there's a side of Oprah that she'd rather keep hidden, and it's far from admirable. Is it possible that the Queen of Talk has a darker side that she doesn't want us to see? Well, the highly anticipated film Sound of Freedom is set to expose the shocking methods used by the Hollywood elites to trap innocent victims. While the movie doesn't explicitly name Oprah, her alleged connections to notorious figures like Harvey Weinstein cannot be ignored. You see, despite Weinstein's long-standing reputation as a predator, Oprah maintained a close relationship with him. Speculation arose that she may have even encouraged actresses to work with him, leading to accusations of her complicity in the alleged misconduct. These allegations conflicted with Oprah's public persona as a champion of women's empowerment and a supporter of the hashtag #MeToo movement. Some argued that her association with Weinstein demonstrated a double standard in her treatment of accused individuals. And this is not the worst of it all.
Imagine that stuff. That couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like. Could it? And then you find out later on the track that you are exactly on track.
Sound of Freedom was initially in the hands of Disney, which acquired the rights after its merger with 21st Century Fox in 2019. However, the House of Mouse mysteriously shelved the project, leaving many to wonder why. Could it be an attempt to cover a specific group of industry elites? You see, these so-called industry big shots who wield immense power behind the scenes of Hollywood have always presented themselves as philanthropists with hearts of gold. But what if their true intentions were far more sinister than we could have ever imagined?
And that's what's frustrating about that CNN guy. He's acting like moral outrage over this is bad or unwarranted. He's asking as if, oh, it's to spread fear. Yeah, you should be afraid for your children. You should be actively trying to prevent this. Why is moral outrage bad when this is something that's objectively evil?
This is an area to be intolerant in, like zero tolerance for this. By the way, watch this. The Guardian. Cuties review. Netflix's controversial child exploitation film is bold, flawed, and misunderstood. Misunderstood. Okay, so here's the next one. Cuties review. A coming-of-age movie caught in the culture wars. Thanks to a major marketing mistake, this award-winning French movie has been accused of sexualizing girls. It's actually a sensitive portrait of growing pains that deserve to be seen. Are you kidding me? Go to the next one. Okay, the human traffic film Sound of Freedom trashed by liberal outlets as QAnon adjacent.
Is Satan real?
Yes.
So describe what is
Prince
it?
of the power of the air,
Yeah,
who is
what
now
is
at work in the sons of disobedience. Yeah, there's a real devil. There's real evil. But in Ephesians chapter 2, those first 3 verses, we see this triad, right? We do see Satan. We do see the devil, and he is real. He is a fallen angel. He is the prince of the power of the air. He is at work in the sons of disobedience, and so.
Father of all lies, father of all chaos.
Absolutely, we do see that, but we also see the world, right? This world system that we live in, okay, that teaches us what to think, why to think, when to think, okay, how to think. It teaches us, what to desire, when to desire. So we see the world, and they also see the flesh. We are fallen in Adam, and we inherit a sin nature from Adam because of our fall in Adam. Now you put these together, It's the world, the flesh, and the devil. And that's what gets you this chaos that we find ourselves in. And again, when we're encouraging that, and when we're calling good evil and evil good, we're pouring gasoline on that fire.
My viewers, ladies and gentlemen, this is a cry for help. This is for children. Children are our most valuable resource. They're our future. And they seem to be targeting them and coming after them specifically.
We all realized that aborted babies were being dismembered and baby body parts were being sold by Planned Parenthood. When it was discovered and chronicled in video, instead of indicting Planned Parenthood for selling aborted baby parts, the man who took the video was indicted on 9 counts. This is a very dangerous place for children. You have about a 50-50 chance to survive the womb. No way to escape judgment. Satan's war starts in the womb and never lets up. It's carried through every medium possible to destroy children. Broken homes, sinful parents, in every electronic form of media, educational system, it's everywhere. Satan's war on children, by the way, is a war on God because the children belong to him.
Over the whole world. And this movie brings light to it. I've actually seen the movie. The movie is very eye-opening and eye-telling.
This then raises to massive proportions the responsibility that the people of God have with regard to children.
It reveals a lot of the backstory into this very evil, corrupt, dark market organization. It's so overwhelmingly lucrative that it's almost going to pass the drug market. And that is something that we as society have to be aware of. It's up to us to protect the children, our families, our friends, our people, our churches, our communities, our neighbors, our everybody. And this is really serious. I insist you go see the movie and check it out for yourselves and get people talking, get people aware. There's even been some posts on Twitter where they've cut the movie off, turned the air conditioning off, made the conditions horrible so that they can't even stand and watch the movie, have the lights on the entire movie. Like, who does that? You know, I was gonna post a compilation of that, but that's not neither here nor there. What's here is to get out and watch this movie, get the word out, get people seeing this movie, get people knowing that child trafficking is a real thing and that we need to save our kids. Our kids are being targeted. God's children are not for sale. And I pray that we can get this word out, we can get people to acknowledge that it's not a conspiracy theory like CNN has said. It's a real thing and it's happening, and people need to take notice so that we can take action, because knowledge is just information, but putting knowledge to action or execution, actually putting it towards something is what gets results, and that's what we need to do. And if you liked watching this video, if you like content like this, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Look out for other stories that I'm going to be doing and other topics I'm going to be covering. And just to say to each and every one of you out there, keep your head up, keep praying, keep meditating, keep thanking and being grateful for what you have, and be aware of what other people don't have and what other people are struggling for, and especially these children struggling to survive, struggling to stay innocent and pure, and all around the country, all around the world, they're being taken and they're being trafficked, and we need to put a stop to it. And the more of us that know about it, the more of us that can put a stop to it, the more we can get the word out and actually take some action. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something. I hope to see you in the next video. And until then, take care, Godspeed. Be well.
One of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime is awareness. Go see Sound of Freedom.